White collar crimes. The table of contents: white collar crimes, reasons for the growth of white collar crimes, white collar crimes in India, and laws relating to white collar crimes prevention, types of white collar crimes, and white collar crimes in profession, cyber crimes. My name is Umesh Rao. Today's topic is white collar crimes. What is white collar crimes? It is a crime committed by a person of respectability and high social status in his opinion. Professor Edwin Hardin Sutherland, he was the person who gave the name of white collar crime. This white collar crime, it is non-violent crime, usually involving cheating or dishonesty in the commercial matters. It is a non-violent crime for financial gain committed by means of deception by persons whose status is entrepreneur, professionals, semi-professionals. They are utilizing their special occupational skills and opportunity to cheat the general public. The crime committed by persons of respectability and high social status in the course of their occupation. It includes giving fraudulent advertisements, infringements of patents rights, publication of false balance sheet, concealment of defects in the commodity of the sale. All these are comes under white collar crime. It is a crime committed by the salaried professional workers or persons in business, and that usually involves a form of financial theft or fraud. These crimes are non-violent crimes committed by the business people through deceptive activities who are able to access a large amount of money for the purpose of financial gain. They hold respectable positions in the communities unless their crime is discovered. Professor Edwin Hardin Sutherland was the first person who gave the name white collar crimes. What are the examples of white collar crime? Fraud, giving bribery, embezzlement of government money or company's money, computer crimes, copyright infringement, money laundering, identity theft, forgery. All these are committed by white collar employees. The white collar crimes are committed by educated, intelligent, and qualified people. But blue collar crimes are street crimes such as burglary, theft, rape, assault, etc. The white collar crime is committed by a person of respectability. They are called corporate crimes because the opportunity for fraud, bribery, inside trading, embezzlement, computer crime, copyright infringement, money laundering, identity theft, forgery, they are more commonly available in white collar crimes. The white collar crime is financially motivated and it is non-violent crime committed for illegal monetary gains. This is part of criminology. How this white collar crime is different from blue collar crime? Blue collar crime is committed by individual from a lower social class. Blue collar state crimes are crimes like theft, looting, assault, rape, vandalism. These are all comes. But white collar crimes are, it is sophisticated crimes. What is the characteristics of the white collar crime? These crimes are committed by the people of high status in society, such as professionals, doctors, advocates, chartered accountants, government officials, and not by thieves, robbers, dacoits, murderers, rapists. These crimes differ from traditional crimes. White collar crimes meant to describe middle and upper class business persons. Who are the victims of these crimes? Victims of these crimes are normally the entire society. These crimes don't involve any stigma. White collar crimes are more dangerous to society than ordinary crime. Reasons for the growth of Reasons for the growth of white collar crimes. White collar crimes are committed out of greed. These people are usually financially secure and affluent class. White collar crimes causes damage to the society many times more than the crimes such as robbery, burglary. The amount of death caused by the white collar crimes is high compared to blue collar crimes. New technology has opened up new avenues for this criminal organization to prosper. White collar crime is due to the booming economy and technological advancement such as the internet and fast money transfer systems. It is very difficult to detect the white collar crimes because crimes always committed by in privacy and there is no eyewitnesses. It causes far much damage to the country. The detections of the street crimes are easy because there are eyewitnesses to give evidence against the commission of these acts, but that is not in the case of white collar crimes. White collar crimes in India. White collar crimes in India. White collar crimes are rapidly increasing in our country with the advancement of commerce and technology. New technology have given new dimension to computer related crimes known as cyber crimes. White collar crimes are increasing with the development of new websites. The areas affected by these crimes are banking and financial institutions, industry and business. White collar crime is punishable under the law. White collar crimes are increasing on daily basis. It injures the society on large scale because of the laws are not properly administered. How it affects the society? In India, there are three classes: one lower class, middle class, and upper class. Who is the lower class? Lower class means daily wage earners and agricultural laborer, rickshaw driver, hotel workers. They are limited income. They depend their livelihood for roti, kapda, makan, only limited income. And middle class, government and private employees, non-gadgeted workers. Upper class, IAS, IPS officer, industrialist, political leaders. They are all there. So this crime, white collar crime is higher in quantity in upper class. They are not sufferers of the crime. Only middle class people are the sufferers by white collar crimes because of their limited income. How this white collar crime affects middle class? For example, dowry suicide. These are all affect the middle class. Lower class how? Child marriage, abortion, and all these affects the lower class. So control measures of crimes, white collar crimes in India. There is a sudden growth of white collar crimes in India after economic reforms are introduced because there is a nexus between corporate houses, government officials, criminals, and politicians. In India, there are many acts and legislatures to control the social, economic offences like Income Tax Act, Coffee Posa, Customs Act, Centralized Tax Act, FERA Act 1973, NDPS Act 1985, MRTP Act, Preservation of Corruption, Prevention of Corruption Act, Companies Act 1956, Money Laundering Act, Copyrights Act, Trademarks Act, Patent Act, Corporate Affairs and RBI Regulation, and SEBI Act. All these are the control measures adopted by the government. There are, in addition to that, there are various agencies like CBI, CVC, Enforcement Directorate, RBI, Lokayukta to check the white collar crimes. However, the criminal syndicates are controlling the various sectors in India, and these are drug mafia, criminal mafia, land mafia, real estate mafia, mining mafia, media mafia, educational mafia, corporate media mafia. They are all dictating the terms in the nation. They are virtually running parallel administration in the country, and even the judiciary is also unable to control the white collar crimes due to the loopholes in the system. See, government has made some laws relating to the control white collar. These are various regulatory regulations are introduced. Essential Commodities Act of 1935, Industrial Development and Regulation Act of 1951, Import and Exports Act of 1947, Foreign Exchange Act 1974, Companies Act 1956, Prevention of Money Laundering Act 2002, Indian Penal Code contains provisions to check crimes such as bank fraud, insurance fraud, and credit card fraud, etc. The Reserve Bank of India has issued a direction to strictly be followed by the banks under KYC, Know Your Customer guidelines. The banks and financial institutions are required to maintain the records of the transactions for a period of 10 years. Types of white collar crimes: bank fraud, blackmail, extortion, bribery, IT fraud, embezzlement, counterfeiting, forgery, tax evasion, adulteration, and professional crimes. What is bank fraud? Bank fraud means obtaining money from depositors by fraudulently representing to be a bank or financial institution. It is a criminal offense. Bank fraud is considered as white collar crime. Blackmail. Blackmail is a crime involving threats to reveal true or false information about a person to the public or a family member or society unless his demand is met. Extortion is taking of personal property by threat of future harm. Bribery. Bribery means offering, giving, receiving, or soliciting of any item of value to influence the actions of an official when he is on public duty. It may be money, goods, right in action, property, preferment, privilege. So, bribery means giving money or gift that alters the behavior of the recipient. Fraud, IT fraud. It has brought many appliances to the common people at the cheap prices like internet, TV, satellites, mobile. It has brought many kinds of frauds also. For example, stealing personal information, rogue security software, etc. Embezzlement. Embezzlement is a financial fraud. For example, lawyer could embezzle funds from clients. Financial advisor could embezzle funds from the investors. Embezzlement is an act of dishonesty and appropriating assets by one individual. Counterfeiting. Counterfeiting means illegally imitate something. For example, forgeries of currency and documents, imitations of work of art, toys, clothing, software, pharmaceuticals, watches. company logos and brands, selling counterfeit drugs. That means selling duplicate goods. Forgery. Forgery is concerned with produced a or altered object. It is process of making or imitating objects, statistics or documents with the intent to deceive. Tax evasion. Tax evasion by individuals, corporations, trusts and other entities to evade taxes by illegal means. Adulterations. Adulteration refers to non-compliance with the health or safety standards as determined in a law enacted by the government. Professional crimes. These crimes are committed by medical practitioners, lawyers, builders in the course of their occupation. White collar crimes in professionals. Journalists, teachers, doctors, lawyers, engineers, builders, manufacturers, publishers, they practice white collar crime. How they practice? Journalists. Journalists found involving corruption like extracting money from the rich and influential persons, blackmailing them to expose them by publishing their various weaknesses, which will deteriorate their reputation and defame them. Many victims are political leaders and public servants. These types of journalism is called yellow journalism. Teachers, corruption by teachers, how collecting huge amount from rich parents, collecting money from students by assuring them success in examination and giving private tuitions. Doctors, doctors get monthly commission from medical shops. They are getting reference fees. They collect consultation fees from the patients. They collect operational fees. Lawyers, how they do it? They're producing forged documents. They're filing frivolous petitions, misappropriation of client's amount, withdrawal from appearance and compromising the case without authority and transferring the properties in the relative's name, wrongful retention of amount and giving false statement and criticizing the judge, carrying firearms, boycotting the courts and strikes, not to return the document. The engineers and builders, how they do? They're completing substandard works, maintenance of bogus records, and construction of roads and canals, dams, bridges with substandard material. Manufacturers, they should keep the factory surroundings very clean and healthy, but they are not doing. They should take all precautions and safeguard the employees. That also they are not doing. If workers' health is affected, they are liable to pay the compensation under the Workmen Compensation Act. Cyber crimes. This is also part of white collar crime. Cyber terrorists usually use the computer as a tool and target or both for their unlawful act, either to gain information which can result in heavy loss or damage to the owner of that intangible sensitive information. Internet is one of the means by which the offenders can gain such price sensitive information of companies, firms, individuals, banks, and intellectual property crimes. They are stealing the new product plan, its description, market program plans, list of customers, etc. They're selling illegal articles and they're doing pornography also. This is done through many methods such as phishing, spoofing, farming, internet phishing, wire transfer, etc., and use it to their own advantage without the consent of the individual. Many banks, financial institutions, investment houses, brokering firms are being victimized and threatened by the cyber terrorists to pay extortion money to keep their sensitive information intact to avoid huge damage. Now, computer virus. What is computer virus? These viruses are used by the hackers. It infects the user's computer and damage the data saved on the computer. Phishing. What is phishing? By sending email messages. These email messages completely resembles the official mail messages of the customers. Hackers ask certain information like account numbers or passwords, etc. The customers fail to identify the originality of the messages. Another, spoofing. What is spoofing? Spoofing means by using deceiving websites or email, the use of logos, names, graphics, and even the code of real banks. Phone phishing. It is done by use of voice messages by the hackers. Customers are asked to reveal their account numbers, identification number, and passwords to file a complaint for any problem. And risk posed on banks and other institutions. For transferring money from one account to another, this way of transfer of cash by customers and money laundering by cyber terrorists. To check this, banks has used KYC norms and introduced credit card also fraud. What is credit card fraud? Huge loss may cost to the victim due to this fraud. This is done by publishing false digital signatures. Most of the people lose credit cards on the way of delivery to the recipient, or it's damaged or defective or misrepresented. Next one, hoarding, black marketing, adulteration in India. The white collar crimes, which are common to Indian trade and business world, are hoarding, profiteering, and black marketing. The violation of foreign exchange regulations and import and export laws are frequently resorted to for the sake of huge profits. Adulteration of foodstuffs, edible, and drugs or causes irreparable damage to the public health. It is at another white collar crime. The complexity of tax laws in India has provided sufficient scope for the taxpayers to evade taxes. The evasion is most common with influential categories of persons such as traders, businessmen, lawyers, doctors, engineers, contractors. The main difficulty posed before the income tax department is to know the real and exact income of these professionals. The actual tax paid by these persons are only a fraction of their income, and rest of the money goes to the circulation into as black money. In order to check it, government has introduced special bearer bonds, Immunities and Exemption Act 1981. The government of India has formulated voluntary disclosure schemes to unearth black money, but the results of these schemes have not been very encouraging. The main reason are the taxpayers don't want to be identified or having evaded the tax in the past, and fear of reopening of their past assessment and facing more enquiries also dissuade them from resorting these cases. There should be a fine distinction between a tax evasion and tax avoidance. So it may be stated that government has introduced various regulatory legislation such as Essential Commodities Act of 1955, Industrial Development and Regulation Act of 1951, Imports and Exports Control Act 1947, Foreign Exchange Regulation Act 1974, and Companies Act 1956 as amended from time to